Hi, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Not Aspirational. I'm your host, Hannah Aaron Brown. Happy Wednesday. I'm recording this on St. Patrick's Day, so I tell you to all of you. I hope that doesn't offend any of my Irish listeners. I am drinking a Heineken Zero because it is fucking 90 degrees in LA right now. And you know, on Instagram, everything looks vibey, right? Like, it's like, oh, like, yeah, yay, Hannah, you moved into this cute little vintage spot. Oh, it's so charming. Oh, I mean, you can't fully tell from YouTube, but like I live in a very cute, charming old building. It's 90 degrees in here. I don't have central AC anymore. I have a little unit in my bedroom, and I thought like, oh, surely it will be cool enough to reach the rest of our home. No, literally our room is like a freezer, and then everything else is just like sweltering. So I feel very like straight called name desire, like with my, I'm like so like Stanley right now. What's his name? Not Stanley Yelnats. That's from Holes. Stanley from Streetcar Named Desire with like a cold beer like on my neck and a t-shirt, just like Marlon Brando being a massive slut in the 50s. Anyways, happy Wednesday, everyone. How are we all doing? I'm so good. Thank you so much for asking. Yeah, I'm having like a solid week. Transformation Challenge is finally coming to a close, which is music to my ears. Now, has it been helpful for getting me back into habits, healthy habits? Sure. Am I over it? Yes. I know I probably talk about this every week. I really sometimes feel like I have amnesia because I'm like, did I talk about this already? I just struggle so hard to balance like knowing that habits are healthy for me and then also being like, but I don't like being told when I have to be somewhere too often. Like I get resentful when that happens. Like, and you know, it's like even with jobs, it's like, well, Hannah, like, how do you feel about jobs? Jobs annoy me too. Like, I like working when I care about it, but when there's any part of my brain that doesn't care, I'm like, fuck this, why do I have to be here? So I did get to that point with the Orange Theory Transformation Challenge, but, you know, feeling okay going into the summer. I have perfected my at-home tanning routine, which is also very important when it comes to feeling okay going into summer, because, yeah. So that's where I'm at. Wow, I'm in a rambly, silly, goofy mood, but we are so back, y'all. Also next week, I have a really exciting guest, so stay the fuck tuned. Today, we're going to do a little pop culture kiki. It's been a while since we got to catch up, and we're going to talk Oscar stuff. So starting with pop culture stuff. First of all, since I'm recording this on St. Patrick's Day, I just have to wish a happy St. Patrick's Day to my close personal friend, Wes Wilson. Someday I dream that we will be taking shots of Malort together in Chicago because if you think about it, this is like kind of our friendship anniversary, given that this time last year I was bullying him on the internet. And like, that just shows you how much can change in a year. Like 525,600 minutes. So much can change in a year, okay? Seasons of love. Okay. Oh my God. A couple Sundays ago, Jake and I went to the Rose Bowl flea market, which is like an LA institution. It happens, I think, the second Saturday every month, and it's in Pasadena. Big, massive flea market. And Jake and I are trying to furnish our place like very intentionally, which requires a lot of patience that I do not have. But we wanted to find some just like bits and bobs that were unique and vintage and cool. So we only focused on the home stuff, not the clothes. The clothes would have taken it like an entirely other day. But while I didn't find much, I did find arguably the most important thing I could have found. And that is that is an InStyle book called Parties, first printed in 2005. Can we just like picture this for a second? Magazines used to like make books about entertaining. Like it is the cutest like rom-com-y book. It's like a hot pink book with like cosmos on the cover that's like, In style, parties, the art of entertaining. And it like tells you how to like throw a great party. It has like recipes and cocktail recipes and decor tips and outfit tips. And I'm just like, ugh. It's what early 2000s rom-com dreams are made of. And I was like, damn, I fucking love a flea market. And like in a time of such aggressive overconsumption being foisted upon us at all times, I just drooled, hold on, okay? Foisted upon us at all times. Go to your local flea market. Like, I mean, I don't know where everyone lives. I don't know if every place has a local flea market. I'm sure those of you who like live in the Midwest right now and it's still cold with peace and love, I'm sorry to bring up how hot it is here, are like, I would love to go to a flea market, but it's not happening where I live right now. So that's like valid. But like this summer, put it on your bucket list. Dick around, go to a flea market, or in the colder months, go to a thrift store, drive like a few towns over, check out a thrift store, and get some inexpensive, gorgeous trinket for your home or your wardrobe or whatever. Like I have been in such a shoppy mood. Shout out to my friend Alice. She said that the other day. She's like, I'm in a shoppy mood. And I'm like, that is such a good, simple, succinct way of putting it. I've been in a shoppy mood and my bank account really has no space for me to be in a shoppy mood. So I'm like, I gotta get my ass to the thrift stores and be a sustainable queen and find cool, unique pieces that no one else has. And in LA, that requires me to drive like an hour away, but I'm up for the challenge. Like I'm really into like curating a home and a wardrobe of unique things. Yeah. Okay. This also happened to me recently. Do you guys ever get in that mood where you like look in your closet and all of a sudden it's like a switch flips and you're like, I fucking hate everything in here. Why did I buy any of this? I'm getting to that point with my wardrobe. Like I think all my pants that I've gotten shortened are too short. They look stupid with sneakers. I have so much black. I'm like, black doesn't look good on me. I want to change like everything. I want to have an overhaul and I can't really afford to have an overhaul. So to the thrift store I go, and or I could also scale back my social life and then maybe I would be able to be in a shoppy mood more often. But like, it's just hard when you want to do it all, you know? Anyway, I'm super excited about my new book. Also, speaking of being in a shoppy mood, my mom's significant days are coming up starting this Sunday. It's her birthday, Aries Queen. Shout out to my mom, Laura. And then her anniversary is in May, as well as Mother's Day. And those are like within like a few days of each other. And I'm like, oh. So this time of year, it's like always hard because it's like it's spring. So like, you know, the media and the weather tells us like we're supposed to be in a good mood, but like I get a little depressy like this time every year. And every year I'm like, maybe this year I won't. And then I do. But sometimes it's depressy in the way where I'm like, I want to go do things. Then other times it's depressy in the way of like, I want to like hide under a blanket and dissociate. So like we'll see what's in store for me this year. But something that I'm going to do on Sunday for my mom's birthday is I'm going to treat myself to a nice candle because I believe if my mom's not here for me to get a birthday gift for her, I should be able to get her a birthday gift for myself to help me lick my wounds on such an important day. Why did this get so dark? Anyways, let's get into the dolphin guy on TikTok. Okay. There's a dolphin guy. You're like, what the fuck does that mean, Hannah? Okay. There is a guy on TikTok who was found on the beach drawing very detailed blueprints in the sand. I'm picturing like Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind, like don't, like drawing out these blueprints. And he's like, okay, guys, I was abducted by a pod of dolphins for 3 days. I was taken down into the water, but a dolphin named Gerald, the name Gerald, I love a human name on an animal. Like all my pets have human names. Like a cat named Nora, come on, cutest thing ever. This dolphin named Gerald, the head of the dolphins, took him down and made it so he could breathe. Presumably he made like an air bubble for this man. And he commanded him to build like condos and like structures, like a marine kingdom for the dolphins. Okay. And he was down there for 3 days, just like, okay, yeah. Like, I mean, I was abducted by dolphins. Like I have to listen to Gerald. And when they were satisfied with his work, they were like, okay, we're going to take you back up now. But just so you know, we will be circling back for phase 2. So like they're going to bring him back down for phase 2. Okay. And the thing is, this guy, he has a master's in aerospace engineering and he has worked on deep sea technology projects in the past. So it's like the dolphins like targeted him because they knew his skill set. Now you could be thinking, Hannah, that sounds really fucking crazy. it gets crazier. He goes to the hospital. They're like, let's just like see if this guy has like drugs in his system, like if he's like hallucinating, what's going on with him. There was nothing wrong with him mentally, but they did find seawater and marine particles in his lungs, which showed that he had extended exposure to seawater without any lung damage. Okay. So everyone on TikTok is like, holy shit, Gerald the dolphin he's a mastermind. He found this man. He brought him down. He said, build me a condo, bitch. Build me an underwater city, bitch. The man said, okay. And the pot of dolphins were like, okay, we're satisfied. We'll circle back about phase 2. I don't know what I would do if I was abducted by a pot of dolphins, really anyone, and asked to build something. I would be like, you have got the wrong girl. Okay. I am not handy. If you want to talk about self-tanning tips, I could perhaps be of use in that regard. If you want to talk about makeup tips, sure. Don't ask me to build you an underwater city. Also, given that this guy is just like a mere mortal, I want to know like how much he was able to get done in 3 days, because these blueprints were like really, really detailed. And I'm like, how much did he get done in 3 days? And like, yeah, he's going to be abducted again by Gerald for phase 2, but like, how many phases are there going to be? And are they going to recruit more aerospace engineers who have experience with marine life to help? And this is why it's like the nerds will run the world. And I use nerd as a term of endearment. The nerds will run the world because they're going to learn how to communicate with dolphins. They're going to learn how to build underwater kingdoms. And when the whole world goes underwater and we're all fucking cooked because of global warming, Gerald will be giving them all private little air bubbles so that they can live in the underwater condos. Okay. And makes me sad that I'm kind of a dumb bitch, because I would love to, like, if the world goes underwater, I mean, I'm terrified of deep sea creatures. I actually had a nightmare last night where I was in this room and the whole floor was glass and these sharks and whales kept like bursting through the glass and then bursting over, and I had to keep dodging them. It was a stress dream. Anyways, I'm deeply afraid of deep sea creatures. So like, I don't know how well I would fare underwater, but if my options are Gerald the dolphin gives me an air bubble and I get to just at least see the underwater kingdom before I get eaten by a shark, like, I think I would choose that. I think I would be intrigued. I would just want to like see what it looked like. I mean, I grew up with the movie Atlantis, the Disney film. Criminally underrated Disney film, by the way. Atlantis, the Lost Continent. But isn't that wild? DM me and let me know if you think you're a believer. I believe in the Loch Ness Monster, so of course I'm a believer. I'm like, this guy's not lying. Gerald the dolphin is taking care of business and working overtime. Okay. He's delegating as a strong leader should. And I'm just interested to see what happens. You know, between Punch the Monkey and then that lanternfish last year and now Gerald the dolphin, it's just like the animals keep us on their toes, and they have every right because mankind came in and fucked their whole life up. Speaking of, there's that new Netflix docuseries about dinosaurs. And y'all know, if you're new around here, you don't know. But if you've been here a while, you know I am irrationally afraid of dinosaurs. And I think that if there's anyone on this planet who will bring them back just for funsies and just say, fuck Michael Crichton, fuck all 85 of the Jurassic Park movies, it'll probably be okay if I do it. It's going to be fucking Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. And probably Donald Trump will be like, what's ya? I want a pet raptor. I take a raptor. I'm going to ride it around. I'm fearful. Just add that chaos to the mix. We got the Epstein files. Everything's going up in flames. Why not add, a pterodactyl to the mix? Okay? But I'm really scared. So anyways, all this to say, I have like a sick fascination with dinosaurs because I'm afraid of them. You know what I mean? So I've been really wanting to watch this new Spielberg docuseries on Netflix about them, but Jake wants to watch it with me and he's been like working late lately. So I haven't been able to get around to it yet. And I feel like I'm very behind on TV in general. If you're watching the dinosaur documentary, let me know because I have to see it. Like, I need to know what was going on. And the fact that they were here for like hundreds of millions of years and mankind's been here for like maybe 6 million. It's all spooky to think about. It really blows my brain. Also, sorry, last thing to round out the dolphin guy conversation. It is also illegal to communicate with dolphins because it is said that they hold ancient secrets. Okay. I had never heard of this. It's apparently illegal to communicate with dolphins because they're really fucking smart. They can learn like English words within like 30 minutes. And I'm like, tinfoil hat. Now that the Epstein files are out, I'm like, I don't fucking know what to believe, okay? Tinfoil hat. I go, why aren't we allowed to communicate with them, okay? And this is all in good fun. I really don't want people in my reviews being like, you're a conspiracy theorist. It's just crazy to think about. Like, animals are brilliant and we know so little about them. We know so much, but also so little. And I'm just like, why is it illegal to communicate with dolphins? And the second you say like, oh, you shouldn't do that, I'm like, but why? Like, I need to know. Anyways, aggressive pivot. Chappell Roan was spotted in Paris during Paris Fashion Week being insufferable. Okay. I have had Chappell Roan fatigue for about a year now. Also, hot take, other than her song Casual, I found most of her songs to be really fucking annoying. And I'm not trying to be like contrarian. I'm not trying to be like, I never liked her just because all these videos of her being unlikable have come out. I honestly found her music to be kind of grating and her whole like shtick to be kind of grating. And I'm sorry. I'm all for boundaries. Let me just say that. I'm all for boundaries. I just think she comes off as a very entitled, whiny Gen Z kid who doesn't want to get her ass up and work. And I'm just like, no one is forcing you to be famous. Literally, stop dyeing your hair red, stop making music, move back to Missouri where you're from. Her name is Kayleigh. It's Kayleigh. Kayleigh. And she's from Missouri. Kayleigh can go back to Missouri and she won't have to deal with the paparazzi ever again. She can purposely fall into obscurity. And I just have a hard time with someone who has made it, like for all intents and purposes, has made it, be like this negative about just like everything that comes with the job. It's like, if you don't want to be photographed, don't go to Paris Fashion Week. Like, you don't have to go, but you like surely have to understand that when you go to these events, the brands want to photograph the famous people who are there in the clothes. Like, you can't be mad at photographers for being at this star-studded event. Like, it's their job. I'm not saying paparazzo, by the way, paparazzo should be able to like get up in people's faces and violate people. And to give a little bit of context, not that I've ever been Chappell Roan level famous in my life. So like, I don't fully know what I'm talking about, but like when I did, this is gonna sound so stupid. When I did Tony and Tina's wedding in Chicago in 2016, I had people like grope me, violate me while I was in character because it's like fucked up. When people have like a parasocial relationship with you as a performer, they really push it sometimes. And that is inappropriate and it's not okay. And she's allowed to feel however she wants to feel about it. She just looks miserable like every second that she's doing this career, like no matter what. And I just think life's too short, babe. Like, it pisses me off to watch someone who's so successful in this field that like 0.003% of people actually make it in. Like, it just it's upsetting and triggering to see her shit on all of it when a million people would kill to be in her position. And, you know, I think it's like obviously everyone's, triggers and tolerances and all that stuff are different. But it's like, babe, you are rich. Like, you can have security. You're going to be okay. And again, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do this anymore. Do you remember that episode of Roni where Bethany during Scary Island makes everyone steak and she serves one to Kelly and she serves some food to Kelly? It's not the steak. It's like a mango salsa or something. And Kelly's like, I don't know if I like that. And Bethany overhears and she's like, you don't want to eat it? You don't have to eat it. You don't want to eat the food? You don't have to eat the food. You don't want to eat the steak? You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. It's your life. That's how I feel about Chappell Roan. What do you think about Chappell Roan? Again, please don't drag me in my reviews. Should this episode just be called Please Don't Drag Me in My Reviews? Because I know that maybe that's a hot take, but I do think sometimes, I think we're kind of in a time where we've taken like therapy speak and like boundaries like just a little too far to the point where it's like, yeah, but sometimes you do have to just like deal with annoying parts that come with your job, whatever your job is, whether you're famous or not. And I just think that she comes off as very whiny and entitled, and I've had enough of it. Another thing in the vein of Paris Fashion Week is Chanel. Oh my God. Chanel's 2026, 2027 fall winter collection was truly the most beautiful shit I've seen in a long time, like the most inspired fashion I've seen in a long time. So they, in 2024, got a new creative director, Mathieu Blasi. And I just, listen, obviously I can't afford Chanel, but I just love pretty things. And I will say I love clothes, but I'm not always on top of like knowing like who the creative director at this fashion house is and who the head designer, blah, blah, blah. Not always good at that, but I did on Instagram see this gorgeous collection. So it was at Paris Fashion Week, and it marked a, quote, revolutionary lighter era for the house. Held at the Grand Palais, the collection featured modernized tweed suits, reflective metal mesh garments, and 3D florals, blending daytime practicality with opulent, vibrant evening wear, signaling a shift towards renewed creativity and modernity. His vision is to continue to redefine Chanel with a focus on lightness, modern silhouettes, and playful yet luxurious materials, following his debut collection in late 2025. The collection prominently featured reinvented Chanel tweed jackets, many styled with denims alongside knee-length skirts, workwear-inspired overshirts, and metallic mesh items that shimmered on the runway. And I just want to say, like, I know that for so many reasons, like, fashion can be problematic. It can be very, like, gatekeepy and, like, shitty and can feel very, like, I don't know, vapid in the grand scheme of everything. But, like, this collection was so like Molly Gunn from Uptown Girls coded that it just put a smile on my face. It just made me so happy. It felt like such a celebration of like femininity and creativity, and it was edgy and it was fun and it was opulent and effervescent. And I just was like, damn, it's inspiring to see art that just makes you feel alive, you know? So if you haven't looked it up, look up the Chanel Fall Winter 2026-2027 collection. It is the fucking coolest. Okay, now let's get into TV. I am, full disclosure, behind on TV. I don't know how this happened, but I am. I'm behind on, I do know how it happened. It's because I've been hanging out with people a lot instead of being holed up at my house on the couch where I probably belong. But maybe if it weren't so fucking hot in here, I would be more inclined. So, I'm behind on Ladies of London, but oh my fuck, if you're not watching the new Ladies of London, you are missing out, okay? It is so fucking good. I'm not kidding. I went into it with like zero expectations. I had like one friend be like, no, it's good. You should check it out. About like 5 minutes in, I was like, oh, I'm in. I'm fucking in. It has the most chaotic, like 2010s energy in the best way. The cast is immaculately crafted. They threw a fabulous gay man in the mix as a Lady of London. And I think that is so fucking smart on Bravo's part, because it's like, I feel like having fabulous queer energy on Ladies of London not only makes sense in the world, but also I think it's going to be really interesting to see. I don't fully know if he's bitchy yet. He's like a little snarky, but I don't know if he's gone like full into bitchy mode as far as like how he engages with the other women. I forget what his name is, but it's always interesting to see how women perceive like a gay man being bitchy to them versus another woman. Like I tend to feel like women have a higher tolerance for a gay man being bitchy to them versus other women. So I'm interested to see how like adding a man to the mix kind of like shifts the dynamic or like changes the dynamic. I think it's going to be really, really fun and really interesting. Also, Southern Hospitality is back. Thank God. Southern Hospitality is excellent. It's like Vanderpump Rules and Southern Charms, like slutty little sister. And if you've never watched it, it's so good. And they're on the 4th season, so you can binge like so much of it. They have not had a bad season yet. So highly, highly encourage everyone to watch Southern Hospitality. I think it's criminally underrated. Summer House is really good right now. I have to say, I have to talk about this Bailey and Ben thing. Okay, I'm like late to all of this, but whatever. Better late than never. So with the Bailey and Ben stuff, I feel like a couple different ways about it. First of all, I feel for Bailey because I have been Bailey. Oh my God, so many times where I've had like a crush on a guy, but I'm awkward about it. And I feel like he's not giving me attention. So I kind of just like tweak out and act weird by accident, like fully unintentionally. And then I like put my foot in my mouth and make an offhanded joke. And then everyone's like, oh my God, that's so weird and so awkward. And then I get embarrassed. Like I have been in Bailey's shoes more times than I can count, especially in my early 20s, like early to mid 20s. So I'm protective of her in that way. I don't like, I'm not connecting with her. Like I know there are people on social media that are like, oh my God, protect this Gen Z queen at all costs. She's cute. She's fine. I'm not like, oh my God, I ride for Bailey. Like I'm connecting more with Mia and KJ, to be honest. Like I think they're a very like seamless fit into the cast. But you know, I'll watch her. She's fine. I don't like have a problem with her. But I also thought that like, honestly, like everyone overreacted. Even like, I think the other people at the table. And like, to be fair, it's like we're seeing a 2-second edit on TV. So I can only comment on like what I'm seeing on the show. And I'm trying to be delicate with how I talk shit about people. I guess except for Chappell Roan. Sorry, Chappell Roan. But everyone was like, oh my God. And it felt very like high school to be like, that was such a weird thing to say. And I think like everyone kind of just could have just been like, oh, and like laughed and moved along and then like talked shit later like a normal person. And obviously we're on a reality TV show, so that's probably not what the producers want. But I just thought like the way they put her on the spot and how they all collectively reacted was kind of shitty. And I didn't think it was like that big of a deal. And also Ben does act like he wants to fuck Amanda. Like he clearly does want to fuck Amanda. And it's like, bro, if you're defensive of that, maybe you should reevaluate how you're treating your friend Amanda, who is married to your other friend Kyle, like in front of everyone. Like it's a little weird. And also, if a straight man comes like fee, fi, fo, fum into my fucking room, steps on my clothes and sits on my bed, that's annoying. And I think like a lot of people are like, oh my God, like his delivery was so intense. I don't really think his delivery was that intense. Like he was clearly pissed. It was more the like stomping into the room, stepping on her shit and just like sitting on the bed and being like, well, I'm kind of mad about that. How could you do that to me? I don't want to sleep with my friend's missus. I just thought it was a little bit, I thought like the way he went about it was kind of aggressive. The word aggressive feels so intense, but I just thought it was a little childish and I think he overreacted. And I think there's like a way, again, wouldn't have been as good of reality TV at all, but I think there's a way to be like, hey, that joke made me kind of uncomfortable. Like, could you not say stuff like that? And she would have been like, oh my God, totally. But like, it was like double pronged embarrassment and like cringe because like she has a crush on him. So like, not only did she like piss off a boy, she pissed off a boy that she has a crush on. So now it's like, I felt for her. It was all awkward. But loving the season. I'm having a great time. As far as West and Sierra, I like don't really care. Like, I mean, they're hot. Like they can do whatever they want to do. Like if they make out, I'll be happy. If they don't, it'll be fine. I think at the end of the day, it's like Sierra seems to want very specific things. Like she said, she's like a traditional girl. She really wants to like be with someone in a serious way and like get married and have kids and do all those things. And I think West is like having fun, being famous and playing the field and doing his thing and traveling a lot. And I think like they can both very much care about each other and be very attracted to each other. But I think until they're on the same page as far as like what they're looking for in this chapter of life, it's not going to work, which is why I'm having a hard time like fully investing in that storyline. But like I like watching hot people do hot things. So like go off, kids. You keep me young. I love you so much. Okay. Bravo aside. There's a new show hosted by my nemesis, Nick Viall and Natalie Joy, but you barely see them, okay? Which is why I'm able to push through. It's called The Age of Attraction. It's on Netflix. Love is Blind just ended, and Age of Attraction is like filmed in the exact same way, looks the exact same, like vibes are very similar. So it's like filling the Love is Blind void. When I tell you guys, this is like the best show I've ever seen, okay? It is about all these singles, they go on this retreat. No one knows how old anyone is. And then they all like, you know, they're mingling, they're trying to hit it off. And once they hit it off, they can decide as a couple to go to the quote promise room where they put a ring on each other's finger and promise to like make a commitment to basically explore this connection outside of the retreat, like in the real world. So in the promise room, they reveal their real ages. And everyone's like so shocked. Like it's like you got 60-year-olds falling in love with 25-year-olds and they're like, oh my God, what are we going to do in the real world? And then they're put in the real world and you just see what happens. And it's so dark and funny to me that Nick Viall and Natalie Joy are hosting this show. Like they're so insufferable. And I originally put it on as a hate watch where I was like, oh, good grief. These two always touting their relationship as like the standard of what it should be like when I think they're both nightmare people. But yeah, it's a fascinating show. I love it. And there's new episodes out today when this episode comes out. There's new episodes on Wednesdays and there's already like 5 out. So like strap the fuck in, get a salty snack, get an NA beer and get excited because it is a delightful show. Final show I'm going to mention is DTF St. Louis. It's on Apple TV. It's a scripted show. And this is going to make me sound like an idiot, but when I can get into a scripted show, it makes me feel very intellectual. And I'm into this show. It's got Jason Bateman, Linda Cardellini, David Harbour. It's like a mystery, kind of a dark comedy. I'm a fan, so check it out and let me know what you think. Those are my TV updates. We're going to take a little quick break here, and then when we get back, we're going to talk all things Oscars. And we're back. Okay, so Oscar things. Honestly, as a kid, I was obsessed with the Oscars. I literally would like cry in front of my TV. I found them to be so moving. I would like get so misty-eyed at the in memoriam. Anytime someone won, I would be like, oh my God, their life is changing. I would make like fake Oscar speeches into shampoo bottles, pepper mills, etc. I feel like in the last few years, I've become a little bit distant from the Oscars. And I think it's honestly because like, first of all, I have very specific taste with the movies I like to see, and I don't often deviate, which is actually something I really want to work on, because I know I miss out on objectively good movies. But like sometimes the like really artsy like art house movies I just like can't get into, and then if a movie seems like quote like a boy movie, my brain goes no. So I can't get into a lot of the movies nominated for Oscars, but that's on me. That's a mistake. I went into this year's Oscars rooting for Sinners because I did see Sinners and I loved it. And Amy Madigan in Weapons, loved Weapons. So I was like excited to see if she won. And other than that, I was kind of just like vibing and like seeing what happened. So I kind of like half watched them, but I was more invested in the fashion than anything else. Like I thought the Oscars themselves were like fine, but I'm just like so much more interested in like the carpet like interviews and the fashion and the drama like surrounding the carpet interviews and like who gets to do the carpet interviews, because there's always like an influencer doing an interviewer who like fucks up somehow, and that's always fascinating to me. I will say, loved that Michael B. Jordan won. It was so amazing to watch him accept that award, knowing how hard he worked on that role and how hard he has been working his entire life. Like he has been working, like doing good, consistent work since he was a child. And to see him recognized like that was really, really moving and cool. Also, Amy Madigan, what a fucking hoot. I loved watching her win. And I always think it's so cool to see a woman of a certain age win an Oscar. And Weapons, like, I think historically we've seen horror movies get the shaft when it comes to the Academy so many times. I mean, Demi Moore in The Substance, I think, was robbed. So seeing Amy Madigan get recognized for her performance as Gladys in Weapons was incredible. I mean, she was unreal in that movie, totally insane. Just created the most terrifying and yet amusing villain of all time. And I was so happy for her, and her speech was adorable. Also, I have to shout out Autumn Durald Arkapow on winning the Oscar for Best Cinematography for her work on Sinners, becoming the first woman of color to win the award. Good for her. I mean, that movie was so beautifully shot, and to see a woman and a woman of color get recognized for her work in film is so huge. It's such a male-dominated space, so anytime a woman is recognized, especially a woman behind the camera, it's reason to celebrate, and I was so, so excited and happy for her. Now let's get into best dressed and worst dressed. Okay, so for my best dressed people, Emma Stone and Louis Vuitton, she looked gorgeous. I will just say I am such a sucker for just like very soft glam. And I thought like everything just came together so perfectly. As someone who grew up watching Rachel Zoe Project, like I know in my mind that the whole thing has to flow together. Like the hair, the makeup, the jewelry, the dress, it all has to be harmonious. And I just felt like every part of Emma Stone's styling did not miss. Also, Michael B. Jordan and Louis Vuitton looked amazing. Shabuzi and Campillo looked really cool. Bella Hadid's after party look for the Vanity Fair after party was, she wore this Prada silk set. I loved it. It was this like butter yellow, like creamy, yummy set. And it felt so 90s and so like of the moment. Loved Kendall Jenner and Chanel. She was wearing this like beautiful sequin, light blue dress. Her hair was like loose and wavy. It just felt very like movie star supermodel, and like it wasn't the most exciting look, but she looked unreal. Arguably my best dressed of the night though was Sarah Pigeon and Calvin Klein at the Vanity Fair after party. She looked so beautiful. She had her sleek blonde hair, glowy, effortless glam. It was this like, yeah, very like 90s looking, shimmery, like bone colored Calvin Klein dress. Felt like an homage to CBK, but also just such a fashion moment that really established her as like a fixture in Hollywood, a fashion girly, and I love to see it. And also, oh my God, also Simone Ashley and Tamara Ralph, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, looked unreal. Silver, shimmery. It's always fun to see what the trends are for the Oscars. Like this year we saw a lot of like mermaid floral dresses like between Anne Hathaway and Rose Byrne. We also saw a lot of white and like neutrals, and we saw a lot of like shimmery dresses as well. My worst dressed, now we got to get into this. Kim Kardashian at the Vanity Fair after party in Gucci, wearing blue color contacts, and this like her hair was like side parted and messy in this gold high neck dress. She looked so cheap. And with those blue color contacts and the short dark hair with Love and Light, it was giving Sheena Shea in season 5 of Vanderpump Rules. And I'm just like, I'm all for taking a fashion risk and just like trying something out. But I just thought Kim K is so beautiful and she has access to everything, to every designer, every stylist, whatever in the world. And she just looked really cheap. Like it just was not giving to me. And it was disappointing because like she's just so stunning. And when she turns out a look and it like works, it's like, oh my God, like you're gobsmacked. But this was just, it was giving like Mar-a-Lago. I did not like it at all. Someone on TikTok said she had Erica Kirk eyes, and I was like, yes, correct. Also, Anya Taylor-Joy in that little Dior like black set with like a little hat at the Vanity Fair after party was kind of giving Beetle Ball circa Thumbelina. If you know, you know. I just said I like when people take a fashion risk. I think that's what this was. It just like wasn't coming together for me. And like, listen, I hate when people like see a woman during award season in like a silky little slip dress or a silky little whatever, and they're like, it looks like pajamas. I feel like that's such like a cheap critique. But I think it was just like the glam with the hat, like with the kind of fascinator hat and the little silky like chemise, if you will, just wasn't coming together for me. Like I would have loved if she kind of went like full bedroom mode and just had her hair like really long and big and wavy and smoky makeup and like lost the hat. It felt just a bit fussy, and I don't like a fussy look, which brings me to Anne Hathaway. I think Anne Hathaway is so stunning. We know she's so talented. And I think she kills it on the red carpet. She has so many times. This year just did not hit for me. I thought like the floral mermaid dress with the thick belt, with the hair up, with the gloves and the jewelry, it just felt like the outfit was wearing her and not the other way around. And again, it's like we all have our taste. Like I don't like things to be super done. I always like a more effortless kind of vibe, like I've been saying for the last 10 minutes. But I just felt like it was very, very fussy. And I just don't think I'm like a fan of gloves. Like in theory, I want to be because I know how cool they can be and like how impactful they can be. But just opera gloves always feel distracting to me. They just kind of always take it to a place of costume to me. And I hope that someday I'm corrected and I can see an outfit done with opera gloves that like, you know, makes me change my mind. But I've never seen a red carpet look where I'm like, damn, the gloves were really sick there. I'm kind of always like, just doing too much. And finally, unfortunately, one of my favorite people on this planet, Rachel McAdams and Alberta Ferretti. She hadn't been to the Oscars in 10 years. She did this beautiful tribute to Diane Keaton. And I just thought the dress was so matronly. It was like high neck and it had a cape, and the color was this sort of like warm gold that I just don't feel like really complemented her complexion very well. And I think she's one of the most stunning women on the planet, but this look was just not it for me. And again, it's like, as a hot girl anthropologist, I've learned, I've put in the hours to learn the power of like how hot someone can look when the look works for them versus when it can work against them. And it's like every single one of these people I just named is objectively a gorgeous person, but that's all the more reason why I just want the fashion to hit. And when it doesn't, I'm like, it's such a waste of like a very hot, wealthy person. And that's a bummer. So those are all my Oscars thoughts. Sorry if they're kind of boring, but now we're going to get into a new segment that I'm very excited about called Hannah's Hot Girl Corner. So if you don't know, on TikTok, I brought back my Hot Girl Anthropology series where I cover different hot girls of TikTok and like the things they do to stay hot, and then I report back. It's very fun for me. It's a very fun passion project. I love doing it. So I wanted to kind of marry that, like bring that into the podcast with this new segment. So in this segment, I'm going to be highlighting a thing or things that me and the hot girls are loving. It could literally be anything. It could be a product, a class, a brand, a recipe, anything. So for our first installment of Hannah's Hot Girl Corner, I want to put you all on to the Loving Tan 2-hour face tanning serum. So this hot girl of TikTok that I researched, Mary Skinner, recommended it. And This serum is so good for if you want to just have a glowing face in a pinch. It takes 2 hours to marinate and then you lightly rinse it off and you will have the most gorgeous sun-kissed glow. So like if you have somewhere to go at night or if you like just want to wake up feeling really glowy, like do it while you're watching TV and then rinse off before bed and then you'll wake up like stunning. I love it. I think the texture is like really nice and creamy. I think it's super user friendly. I also like to use it on my hands and feet when I'm like self-tanning the rest of my body because I find that the formula is like creamier than the mousse that I use on the rest of my body. So it's better for like the fine lines on my hands and feet and just looks a little more natural and not as dark. So I can't recommend it enough. I did link it in the show notes for you if you want to check it out. But yeah, the Loving Tan 2-hour face tanning serum is a freaking game changer, especially heading into summer. Now we're going to get into Grow Up. It's been a few weeks since Grow Up, so thank you for bearing with me, but I have a good one this week. And that is being rude when someone asks you to take a picture of them. Grow the fuck up. Jake and I were at the flea market. We were on our way in and there were these 3 girls like in the back of a pickup truck in the parking lot, like celebrating. It was almost like they were tailgating the flea market. It was so cute. And they were like, excuse me, should you take a picture of us? And I was like, of course. I took a picture of them and I took a bunch. And then I was like, oh, no, take a second to look through them and make sure you like it. And they're like, oh my God, you're such a girl's girl. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. And it was one of their birthdays. So like, you know, I really wanted to make sure that they got the shot. And I just think shortly after that, I was in a situation with a friend where we asked them to take a picture and they said yes. And it's like they purposely trolled us by taking like a million like horrible, like blurry pictures. Like they seemed annoyed when we asked and then they agreed to do it. And then they took a million bad pictures. And it was like, what? It was like so weird. And I was just like, grow up. Like you could just say like, no, I don't want to do that, which like would be awkward. But like, I just don't see the problem in taking 10 seconds to take a picture of someone when clearly it's a memory they want to have with their friends and they have no other option. Like, are we all supposed to just like bring a fucking selfie stick with us everywhere we go? I just think in a time where people are dying to connect and make memories, like be the nice person who takes a picture for someone. And yeah, if they're annoying and they ask you like a million times, like, wait, can you do it again? Wait, can you take more? Like, yeah, that's annoying. Like obviously within reason, but like if someone asks you to take a picture, grow the fuck up and be nice and warm and take the picture. And extra points if you say, well, take a quick look and make sure you like it because it takes 2 seconds. We live in the era of iPhones, please. Well, this felt good. I missed you all so much. I mean, obviously I love having guests on. It's so fun, but getting to just have these unhinged little rants with y'all is a magic elixir for me. It's what keeps me going in these crazy times. If you don't follow me already, follow me at Hannah Aaron Brown across platforms. If you love this podcast, leave it a rating and a review. Send it to a friend. If you ever want to be featured on the show, if you have an AMA, if you have any questions, if you literally anything, email the podcast at notaspirationalpod@gmail.com. Oh, last thing. Sorry. I'm thinking about starting a Patreon again. I know that I'm famously inconsistent. I start things and I get overwhelmed. So I really want to like be mindful about this and take it like into account before I take the plunge. But I am considering, let me know what you think about this, recapping Real Housewives of Rhode Island on Patreon. And most likely it will be similar to this in that like sometimes I'll be alone, sometimes I'll have guests. We'll see. But I thought it could be a fun way to kind of give back to the Bravo community and connect with the girlies behind a paywall. So let me know what you think of that. I'm excited to hear your thoughts. I hope you're into it. If you're not, let me know and I won't bother. But you know, just batting that idea around. Okay, that is all for me. Thank you all so much for listening and I will see you soon. Bye.